How to manage your finances as a poker player is actually pretty easy, matter of fact. So I'll give you a rough breakdown of what to do and what I think what's psychologically not too difficult for most people to actually do. Actually, what you need to do is far simpler. So if you're playing low stakes up until about, I would say 2-4, I'll try this a little bit myself because maybe things have changed, but to have 20 buy-ins up until about 2-4, the thing is you just have to move up from low stakes or you're not going to make shit. And I don't think that the stakes are that much more difficult up until about mid stakes or when the money starts getting to the real territory. And this is for both live and online, actually. If anything, it's more true for online where people are actually pretty legit with how they play and are getting pretty advanced even at lower stakes. So you got to move up at low stakes. One of the things that's subtly beneficial for you guys at low stakes is that there's a high level of liquidity, meaning even if you lose at $1, $2, guess what? There's a $1, $2 game going on all the fucking time, everywhere. There's loads of chances to get your money back, and there's loads of soft games at that game too. If you're following my advice and keeping your options open, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not. Anyway, so once you get to 2-4 through 5-10, I would have between 30 or 40 buy-ins. And once you get to higher stakes than that, which is basically high stakes, especially 25-50, I would have probably 50 buy-ins. You could even go more aggressive than this because there's still a high level of liquidity in these games as well. But now people are starting to get very legit and really know what they're doing. So your edges generally will be quite small. It's at these stakes that I really strongly advise you guys to keep your options open and not sit there and grind the worst games that are available to you on the internet. Oh my God, how are you going to make much money if you're sitting there playing the hardest games out there? And if you're not looking for good opportunities, because I've just totally been invited on accident to games that were super soft that are 5-10 in LA, which is supposed to be, maybe LA is a good place, but it's also supposedly riddled with cheating and all that going on. And I just absolutely saw the most insane soft things happening and thought to myself, there must be good value out for these guys that are playing these low stakes games. They're just not finding it. One of the things in the Jungleverse that we'll be helping you guys do is finding these lower stakes, softer games, or giving you the tools to find them. For at least the people that are out there looking. If you're sitting there playing the toughest games in the world, no fucking shit are you gonna have some trouble, because then you gotta be one of the best in the world. And guess what? There's only so much room to be one of the best in the world. Not everyone can be the best in the world, because that's not how being the best in the world fucking works. At high stakes, believe it or not, I suggest having 50 buy-ins plus. This is at some of the toughest games in the world are 50-100 better, even at 50-100. And guess what, guys? If you lose, it means that you might not get another shot for a while at a good game. This is less true at 50-100, and I know plenty of spots that are along 1K, 2K, 50-100 that are relatively common. 1K, 2K, HKD. Hint, hint, that might be where some of the games are. Really, when it comes to being a pro, if all you did was keep what you're doing to that, it would be pretty simple to just have money for a long time. Now, where things get complicated is when we start going to other kinds of territories and other sorts of things to do, such as business and angel investing. I put these things in quotes because, well, angel investing actually is, you could be doing it even though it's not always the right way to do it. But basically, once you start doing things such as stake, and once you start doing things such as buying shares of companies that theoretically can 1000x, or getting NFTs that can 1000x, or these altcoins that are the best thing in the world or going to change the world, all these things in quotes for a reason. How many times have I heard that? Oh, dude, this is a fantastic opportunity, until I realized, wait, everyone is saying this to me, and it doesn't seem to be the case for some reason. I think that most of these people, when they say these things, do not have bad intentions. However, there are some subtle bad intentions there that people don't realize are in many other propositions, such as giving false scarcity lines, because many times I've been told, oh, there's only so much room to invest and you've got to make a decision within 2 weeks. And then guess what? That wasn't true more than half the time. And I did have an opportunity to invest later on for a lot of these things. Not always a case if they were legitimately good, in which the door legit closes, but a lot of the times the door was not closed after the time constraint for the best opportunity ever that was going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. Cool story, bro. When it comes to things like staking and doing other sorts of poker business and even taking shares of people, actually, things can get a lot more complicated for all kinds of reasons. And one of the things to look out for that's a bit of a red flag, but not necessarily bad, it's just leaning towards the bad end, is how far away are you from from your degree of influence. Meaning, if they're your friend and they're coming to you with an opportunity, it's far more likely that that opportunity is legitimately good because you're the first person that they came to, one of the first few. But if you're someone that this person probably wouldn't know, or there's a really long shot that you would know and they're not in your sector, there's a good chance that this investment isn't so good when it comes to staking, poker shares, anything of this sort, or also obviously investments in something else like technology or art, real estate. As I've learned the hard way, these people had to ask loads of people before they came to you. And why are they coming to you when they're in art, where they should have the right connections in art, that are buying up all this stuff and snapping it off if it's so damn good, right? If you have a good share of somebody who's your friend that you're sure is going to be plus CV, you're going to take it before this person goes and asks loads of other people. This just has to be true. Yeah, and so this is where loads of the variance really happens, is when you open yourself up to the real world and all sorts of risks that no longer follow the pattern of predictability, such as poker. Poker actually has what is called stochastic randomness, meaning that the nature of the randomness is more or less predictable, at least from far away. It'll follow a normal curve when it comes to just playing cash games, and also tournaments will have a very predictable curve as well for their distribution of outcomes. Now, when we start introducing new factors to the game of sorts, to how we're handling our finances, such as other forms of investments, or when you have vices, such as possibly gambling or women, or like a girlfriend that loves to shop a lot, that can make your income a little bit more complicated. So in short, guys, when it comes to managing your finances, when it comes to actually playing poker, it's a lot easier than people think. You just have a certain number of buy-ins for each game. For each piece you take, if you take 20% of someone, you make sure it's within, you have 30 to 50 buy-ins or whatever piece that you're taking for whatever that your actual share is. And then things actually get much more complicated when we deal with real life and other kinds of ways to invest your finances and not lose all your money than poker. Poker is relatively simple and actually quite safe if you're to have some level of self-control and don't have other life leaks. It's a common misconception that playing poker for money is complicated and managing your bankroll is complicated. Not really, guys. Just don't do stupid stuff.